I thought my life was safe until I got an anonymous letter. I'll never forget the day the letter arrived. It wasn't like any letter I had received before. Plain white envelope, no return address, nothing to suggest who it was from. I remember thinking it was just some mistake at first, maybe a misdelivered bill or junk mail. But the moment I opened it, a cold shiver ran down my spine. Inside was a single sheet of paper with neat, typed words that made my stomach drop. We know what you did 6 years ago. If you don't meet the demands, everyone will know. My first reaction was confusion. I racked my brain, trying to remember anything remotely illegal or shameful from 6 years ago. Nothing. Or so I thought. I was shaking as I read the next lines, which contained specific details only someone who knew me well could know. My old apartment number, the car I drove back then, even the exact cafe I frequented. The handwriting, though typed, had an almost threatening rhythm to it. Someone had been watching me, waiting. I tried to shrug it off, telling myself it was a prank, but as the day went on, strange things began happening. My email was hacked. My social media accounts started receiving messages from unknown people. Packages appeared on my doorstep that I hadn't ordered. Each one contained cryptic clues, pointing to moments in my life that I had buried and thought were forgotten. It was no joke. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. Every time I left the apartment, I felt eyes on me. I stopped answering calls I didn't recognize. Even friends started noticing how jumpy I'd become. I wanted to go to the police, but what could I tell them? I got an anonymous letter threatening me for something that may not even exist. They'd think I was crazy. And if the letter was real, and it clearly was, they'd be useless until it was too late. Days passed, and the letters became more aggressive. Do it, or everyone will know, was scrawled at the bottom of one. You have until Friday, on another. Each one revealed more secrets, things I thought no one would ever find out. Slowly it clicked. The sender wasn't just trying to scare me. They were trying to manipulate me, make me do something. But what, and why me? I went back through my memories, 6 years into the past. Then I remembered a minor incident I had been involved in at my old job, one that I had brushed off at the time. A client had reported something suspicious, and I had bent the rules to cover it up. It was small, harmless, or so I thought. Apparently, someone had noticed. Someone had held on to it all these years, biding their time. Friday came faster than I expected. The letter had given me a location, a small cafe on the outskirts of town. If I didn't show up, they promised to release everything to the public. My heart pounded as I walked in, my hands sweaty and my mind racing. I sat at the table they had instructed me to take, trying to remain calm. That's when she appeared. A woman I had never met, but whose eyes were sharp, calculating. She slid into the seat across from me and smiled. "Hello," she said casually, like we were old friends. "I see you got my letters." I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but she raised a finger. "Don't, just listen." She placed a folder in front of me. Inside were documents, photos, and screenshots of my life, proof that she had been watching, recording, and waiting for the right moment. "Why?" I finally whispered. "Because you have something I need," she said. Her tone was eerily calm. "And because I wanted to see if you could be pushed." I realized then that this wasn't about punishment. It wasn't about revenge. It was about control. She had the power to destroy my life, and she was testing me, seeing how far I would go to protect myself. Hours passed as she outlined her plan. I had a choice: comply with her demands or risk exposure. Every instinct in me screamed to run, but I knew running wouldn't help. She knew everything: the mistakes, the missteps, even the people I trusted. In the end, I agreed to her terms, though the weight of it crushed me. Walking away that night, I realized something terrifying. Life could seem safe for years, but all it takes is one person knowing your secrets to turn it upside down. And from that moment on, I understood that vigilance wasn't paranoia. It was survival. Even now, years later, I still check my mailbox, still glance over my shoulder in crowded streets. The letters stopped eventually, but the fear never left. One anonymous note had been enough to change everything. One person had reminded me that safety is never guaranteed, and that some secrets, no matter how well buried, have a way of finding you.